Hey, if you want to waste less time and less effort, less energy doing something and achieving something, this video is for you. I literally got enough of putting time, energy into things and not getting the results what I want. So I looked into this in the past couple of years, how you can actually optimize where you're heading, your ideas, yourself. So I want to talk this through very simply for me to understand it as well, and for you to understand it, so you do not end up wasting your time, wasting your resources, your money, your relationships. You do not end up wasting other people's money and time as well, so you're just going to be more productive. So it's not a simple topic, but I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible, so it is actually practical at the end. So watch it until the end, where I will give you some practical tips about what you can do about this. But it's crucial for us to understand it, so we just do not waste our money and our resources, our energies, and get more out of what we put into something. So let's go on. A lot of people talk about how to achieve something. You need to imagine it, you need to just feel it in your body, but it is not a complete picture. And I never really understood it. I actually had some questions about it recently and in the past couple of years, and that it sort of added up into an understanding, and that's what I want to talk through. So nobody, or very few people, actually talk about that this is where you start from. You are starting from who you are, but it is not any version of who you are. It is an accepted version of who you actually are. Because if you build whatever you're doing or whatever you want on to a shaky foundation, then you're going to just fall off. You're going to just go back to where you started if you do not address the real problems. And that is the problem with most of the approaches. You are not addressing the problem, you are addressing the symptom. The problem is usually not the problem. The problem, what you notice, is usually just a symptom of something much deeper. So asking in business 5 times the why, if I could just write it down. So 5 times the why, you're asking to go deeper, to get to the core problem that's very important. And in your everyday life, what would I need to be believing in order to feel this way? So, or in personal stories, what would I need to be believing in order to feel this way? So you get the core beliefs and values. Or how is it a problem? You ask the problem, how is it a problem, a couple of times, and then you get to the core problem, and that is when you start sorting out exactly what you need to be sorting out, and you start with what you actually need to be working on, so this just becomes a straight line and not a shaky foundation, but an actual ground where you're standing. So you have to be accepting yourself, where you are, who you are, and know yourself. Know that you like this, you don't like this. You know what sort of a person you are. And when you know what sort of a person you are, you will not have problems with actually just, you're not wanting things out of need, that you're hoping to get things out of something. You already know that you are this. So you accept yourself. Perfect. That doesn't mean that you do not want to change or you shouldn't be aiming for anything. So you know yourself, you know the foundation, you know the ground that you're standing on, and from then you aim. So that is the core of everything. That is what we need to understand. We need to be accepting ourselves. We need to be knowing where we are in order to get anywhere we want to get to. Because then honesty comes, and then real feedback needs to be happening, and then you can actually improve little things day by day, but you are actually working with something real, a real version of yourself, not who you want to become. In the past, I committed that in even personality tests. I didn't even know myself enough to do the personality test. And I was just ticking the boxes that I wanted to be and I thought I was. But reality didn't show me that I was that. I just thought I was that. And from the personality test, I got some sort of a result, and that was like, oh, this is who you are. But actually, if I looked at me, if I would have looked at myself like straight into the eye, it wouldn't have been true. And I could have developed so much quicker by giving myself feedback, by getting real feedback from the outside world. So that is the first thing. The second thing I want to mention is actions and habits. And that is very easy to misunderstand. Who is that person that you will be becoming when you achieve something that you want? The person you are now is doing specific things in order to be who you actually are. Perfect. So you are exploring your habits. What do you do when you wake up? What do you think of? What are your emotional patterns? You're actually exploring who you are, and that is how you are. You're exploring yourself. Your actions, what you do daily. You wake up, after that you brush your teeth, after that you procrastinate or you start working, you go to work, you start meeting people, you're just sitting at home and you're just thinking yourself into doing stuff or just procrastinating. Whatever you do, that is who you are. So you have to be accepting that. That is very, very clear. And in order to get anywhere, you basically have these three approaches that people usually talk about and never actually mention together. The three approaches is how you get yourself to do the habits, how you get yourself to do the actions that you actually want to be doing, need to be doing in order to become a different person. So if you think about it realistically and just very emotionally detached, you are an emotional person. You want to get things that make your life better, or want to get away from things that you don't want in your life. So if you want to be a different person, then that different person will do different actions and have different habits. Perfect. So there are three approaches that people say you need to visualize. How you need to visualize. There are different sort of visualizations. There is also detached when you see yourself. There is when you see through your eyes. And also, which part of the outcome should I be visualizing? There are three approaches, plus one that is neuroscience based, and it's very, very important. And if you get these right, if you implement these, and it doesn't take much, it takes just a very little time actually, then you are going to just be so much more effective. And that's what I'm going to talk about just right now. So the first one is when people say you need to be imagining when the thing what you want happens. Put yourself into that emotional state and imagine it. Perfect. So first, you need to be imagining. That means that when it happens, you imagine, oh, this is how it feels like. I'm so happy about it. And then you have the feeling. So how I see this is that little feeling, that moment. This is when you're feeling it. This is when it happens. Perfect. So what do you do with that now? You basically stretch this out, this moment, into a longer horizon, and basically you start living under these emotions, because people's emotions default back into the same standard. So if you're miserable and you get something very amazing happening to you, then it doesn't take much until you get back into the same emotions that you had before that event. That's when you're reactive. You're basically stretching this out. You imagine when that thing happens, and you stretch this moment out. And you stretch it out so much You imagine it so many times that that event, that emotional feeling will become the norm of you. So in the best scenario, you have rehearsed this feeling, you imagine that you want so many times that they just have that emotion in you, and you're just living that day by day. You wake up, you feel that, and that is a reality. I've done it this year, and it took a long time until I sort of put that emotional body on me and it just didn't move, whatever happened. But it is possible to do. That's the first thing. So you basically stretch out and you live in the emotional reality as when that thing would be happening. The second one is when you imagine the thing that you really, really want, but not that thing, but what happens just before that becomes true. So what is the last thing that happens before what you want to be the reality will be the reality? I've been working with my mother regarding losing weight, and one thing that she knows that she will reach her goal, just one thing that happens before is that she can do pull-ups. She can pull herself up, and that motivated her so much that actually she get into a momentum, and from that she knows that if she can do a pull-up, she lost enough weight in order to get to the fitness level that she wants. That's so amazing, and that we need to be looking in. So first, imagining when it happens, then before what happens, just before the very thing you want to happen happens. And the third thing that is crucial is identity. And that is when, after it happens, you actually look back into the past and see that you achieved it. What sort of person have you become as a result of the happening, that you managed to do that, you did the actions, and how do you feel about yourself? You're embodying those feelings, and that is very interesting because it tricks the brain, thinking that it already happened, so you are already that person. So just imagine having all these just integrated in your body, doing this one by one with the results that you want to get. It will enhance your impact. The plus one is the neuroscience-backed stuff, which is, this is all neuroscience-backed, but this is quite new that I've read about recently. It's basically the focus, action, and feedback loop. It says that you actually do not imagine yourself into existence. You train yourself into existence, and that cannot be more true. This will give you the emotional leverage, and this will give you the result leverage. What you focus on, or that person who you want to become focuses on, choosing to focus consciously, and the actions, the habits that they need to be doing, and the feedback. So basically, that person that you want to be becoming has a specific pattern of actions that they do day by day, because everyone has 24 hours in a day. Some people do more with it. Some people even sabotage themselves. Some people just have no aims. But whether you have aims or not, you are participating in life. And you are, whether or not you know, going towards something. So it's better to consciously decide what you are going towards. Some people do it automatically. Some people need to be learning how to have more leverage on themselves, how to use the tools of their mind to start embodying what they always wanted. So choosing the focus, choosing the day-to-day actions, how you're thinking, and feedback that you're getting. So how you deal with feedback as a result of being that person that you want to become. That gets me to the next part. And the next part is emotional regulation. So if you accept yourself, you're accepted. Perfect. Not by others, that's an option, or by yourself, you're accepting yourself. Then you are actually having the emotional leverage and action habits. You started doing yourself. You started being yourself. So, in that part, when you have an aim, there is all these, let's do the black bags. When you aim at something, then and only then, the black bags, the self-sabotage, the fear, the anger, whatever it is, the limiting beliefs, that's when they start coming up. Only when you aim at something, when you consciously decided that you want to do something. And then these will be emotions. You will do procrastination. You can do things, you can feel things. So your actions and your emotions are going to be changing as a result. So if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling that you cannot do it, that's perfect. That is actually where you want to be. Because obstacles do not mean that we need to just choose a different goal. It means that we're actually on the right path. Because obstacles are on the way. We need to overcome those obstacles in order for us to become who we actually want to become. And there's an amazing opportunity to overcome those things and just get more flexibility in our system and start thinking differently. So that is something to bear in mind. So only when you aim at something, all these black bags start coming up in the form of emotions and in the form of actions. You are not doing anything, you're procrastinating. You go for a walk, wherever it is. So these things might be normal for you, and that old you might be doing that all the time, but you have to be rethinking if that is not or is because you aimed at something. So these things come up. So that's when emotional regulation comes to play. So you have to have the tools, you have to have some tools in order to just keep yourself on track. And when things come up, resulting in those black bags, those limiting beliefs, those actions, then you know what to do. You actually are just keeping yourself on track and know how to deal with those emotions. So that is also part of accepting and knowing yourself. So you have to be accepting yourself here. You're going to be different here, here. You're going to be here, different all the time. And you have to be just having that acceptance mindset, not just towards yourself, but towards others. Just to have that in you. Because when you accept something, the impact will go away. You're not going to be disturbed, because most of the time we are feeling frustrated and anger if we're not accepting something. So then when you accept yourself with actions, habits, with emotions align with actually what you are aiming for, and then you get the tools that you need in order to regulate your emotions, then you need to be changing your beliefs. And that, as I already mentioned, to get into the real problem by asking 5 times the why, or asking when there's a problem that comes up that disturbs you, asking how is it a problem? How is it a problem? How is it a problem? A couple of times. And then you get to the core belief. Or what would I need to be believing in order to feel this way? What would I need to be believing in order to act this way? And then it will be just very simple, but you have to be answering it very conscientiously, like seriously. And that's when you start looking at things that you haven't looked at before, is when you're going to start noticing things that you haven't noticed before. Because that person that you're aiming to be will notice those things. Will already have noticed those things that you're not noticing as you are just right now. So you have to start asking yourself different questions. And when all is settled and done, then we need to actually be aiming for the right environment where our future self can thrive. So choosing that, choosing our peer groups, choosing who we are surrounded by, where we are, what environment, because there is more opportunities in every sector, in every industry. You have to be just conscious of which part of that industry you are targeting, because you might not be using your full potential. You might be amazing at things, but if you are, I don't know, cleaning the streets, so the environment might be holding you back, your job, people around you, and that is very important to become conscious of. So there's a bonus. So at this point, if you want the tools for emotional regulation, I can share it with you. Just drop a comment below and I will send it to you personally, so you get more leverage on yourself, which is very important. Here there's a bonus because of the age of AI that I find fascinating, because if you break things down like this, you actually can see what AI can be helpful in order to support your goals. Because AI is not going to be changing your habits, AI is not going to be changing your actions. It might be changing your understanding, it might be changing your awareness of yourself, but it's not going to help you regulate your emotions unless you're addicted to it, in which case you are reactive, or AI is not going to change the environment that you're in. So for these three things, you need to be taking responsibility for what you're doing. How I see it, AI can help with awareness. If you're asking better questions, if you're asking the right questions, it is going to help you to discover your beliefs and what you value, basically with self-knowledge. And with the proper self-knowledge, you are going to be able to accept yourself more and know your strengths and weaknesses. And so it results into knowing. And then when you know yourself, that is when you can actually create the person who you want to create. So AI is very useful to get more awareness into your body, into your brain, to know who you are, maybe discover your strength, to actually get more aware of who you actually are. Noticing systems, noticing how you operate, but it's not going to help you with changing environment, with implementing habits, regulating your emotions. So that is where this all gets exhausted. This you need to be learning tools for. So this is how it works. I hope it was understandable. Please leave a comment, let me know how you liked it, and I will try to address everything that I haven't covered in future videos. Just let me know what you're interested in, because I'm interested in this stuff and to optimize performance and public speaking as well. So just let me know what you would like to know. If you have any questions, and I will address it personally in my next video. So some of the most amazing tools that I've come across and helped me so much. If you want to get those, just drop a comment below and I will send it to you personally. And I wish you a more successful next year, knowing better, achieving whatever you want, and with better results, knowing yourself more. I actually wish you the biggest personal development, biggest arc in 2026 that you ever imagined. So I wish you a happy new year. Comment below if you're interested in any of these stuff, and see you next time.